Okay, folks, right. Now, today, I'm going to be doing a little sunset, a little tonalist sunset. This is a 10 by 8 small canvas with a gessoed surface on it. It's made a little bit rough, just didn't paint it on too finely, so to have a bit of a rough surface. Okay, now I'm just going to put in a small preliminary drawing. Just getting some raw umber, and this is really let me just see here for a momento, folks. I want to make sure that my drawing will be, as far as composition is concerned, that it's relatively accurate. I'd say just along there. Okay. And then just, I think I'm going to have the water coming in a little bit here. I may change this at a later date. As always, everything is, and maybe have a little person just about here-ish. Okay. Right, that'll do. Maybe have a little person or a tree or something there, we'll see. Now, let me just check for levels. Is that level? It isn't, it's off. So, let's fix that. It is, comes up a bit higher along here, just a bit. There we go. Let me see, yeah. Now, I'm just going to cover the canvas in a warmish tone. So it'll be some oxide red and yellow. Which will be the main color of this today. Yeah, that gesso. Now I'll tell you a bit about the gesso. I put a little bit of plaster of Paris in it to create a thicker paste-like consistency of it. And let me see, like I'd say a toothpaste consistency. And then that allows me to create a rougher surface just by using a palette knife and just scraping it on. Well, initially I brush it on, and then I go over it with a palette knife. Let me see if I have something here to show you. Let me see, it's upstairs. But let me see here. This'll do. A little palette knife like so, and then I just go over the toothpaste consistency of the gesso and just leave a lot of little ridges here and there. Okay, so now I'm just going to give that a moment or two to set up. I'm going to hit pause here, and I'm going to go and stir my spaghetti bolognese. And then I'll come back, and that should be relatively, I still think that that's off. Let me just check that for height there. I don't know. Let me just see, just use my thumb to the tip of that, use my thumb. No, it's not off. Right, I'll be back shortly. Okay, now folks, now that I have stored my spaghetti bolognese, I'm free here to do some of the things that I wish to do. I'm just getting a little assortment of brushes ready. This is going to be a rough pin today. Okay, now. So let's see where we are here. I'm looking for a bit of grayness in the sky. Now, in order to achieve that, I'm going to add a little bit of blue. Just helps create that. Oh, you know what I forgot to do, folks? Do you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to change my glasses, and I need to clean this area up here. Just give me a second here. I'm running ahead of myself, sorry. Too much mineral spirits on the palette, so I'm just taking it off a bit. Yep. And then I'm trying to get into the way of using less mineral spirits. So I think in future what I might be doing is I might put the base down in acrylics. It's a done thing. It's not that big a deal. But anyway, anywho's, that might be the future. Okay, now I like using mineral spirits. They have a nice tendency to dry very, very quickly. So they do. So they do. Let me see. I'm just going to plaster this about. I'm not going to be too blendy today. It's not going to be the way of it. I'm going to be less blendy today. I want a nice rough one today. Now, am I too dark on that? I think I might be a bit dark. I'll just, there we go. And a little bit more over here. Fill in that area in. Now, I don't want to. I want to keep some clean areas today, and definitely some clean brushes for sure. So almost a pure, well, no, I've changed my mind. I'm not going to put in a pure cadmium yellow. This is going to be a very, very warm piece today, folks. So keeping that in mind. All right. Now, just. You can see here, all I'm trying to do is keep the sky very, very patchy in the just thinking out loud, folks. I'm just trying to keep the sky very patchy here for the time being. And whether I blend it at a later date, I don't know. I'm not even sure if I'll put on a second coat. This might be an alla prima version of things today. Right, okay. A little bit more saturation in certain areas. Trying to keep it nice and rough. I just want this to be a really nice painterly piece. today. It's a small bit of work. It's a small painting. It's a 10 by 8. And I'm just keeping it nice and painterly. Now let me see, where is my other? This one will do. And also that this allows that background color to show through as well. Now this brush is a bit stiff. It's a cheap good for nothing brush, but it's a bit too stiff for what I'm doing. It's pulling a little bit off, a little bit more off than I would like. Right, so that's working around here, almost a pure yellow here. A little bit of titanium white in it, a little bit of liquid just to move it. Okay, a little bit up in here, keeping everything painterly in that sense. Now let me see. Now this is where I start, and I'm using the word blending quite loosely here. I don't mean blending, just getting all the gradients to come together a little bit, that's all. That's all I'm doing here for the time being. Now, I want a little bit of a grayer impression here. Let me see, that's a bit too much. Bit too much, and maybe I should even wipe that off or just go over it. Okay. I think what I'll do is I'll just darken this area a little bit. So I will. Just not keen on how bright that this is appearing. This area here. A little bit of mineral spirits just to move it off the brush. Have I gone too dark now? I think I might have gone a bit dark, so I'll just use my trusty old thing here just to knock that back a bit. Hope this isn't making too much noise. No, okay, alright, that's a bit better. In my mind, I have a particular look, and I have used some reference photos today, but I have a particular look to it that I'm after. Okay, now we're talking. This is a bit better. Okay, now all I'm going to do here, just to emphasize the light, is get a bit of pure white, just plunk it right in the middle. Now, I think I'm using the wrong brush for this, but we'll see. Just there. Okay, change the brush. Have another go. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a dry brush. Let me see, where is that? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? My little trusty blender. Nah, I'm not blending. I'm stippling. Big difference. And this way, I am keeping the texture, or the showing of the texture. All right, okay. Now, let's get ourselves down to the surface, down to the landscape here. Now we're off in the distance here. I'm going to start up at the top here. So I'm just going to grade a little tiny bit with some cerulean, or with some cerulean blue. Now, let me see, I want it to come off the brush a bit better than that, so thin out that viscosity a touch. Now all I'm doing here, and you see I'm leaving a lot of little gaps, leaving a lot of them. Yes, this here. I'm gonna fix this. There we go. That should stop the noise, and it has. Okay, now as I'm coming down further, I'm gonna be a bit greener. Bit darker. As I say, this is a very, 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 very warm, higher key than what I normally do. And when I say higher key, what that means is that all the tones are lifted. My darkest dark will not be close to a black. Well, I don't know. I still don't know. But for the time being, it's going to be a slightly higher key than what I am used to. That is for sure. Okay. Right, okay, I just want to keep making sure that I'm putting some of that cerulean blue in this. I want it to be apparent that the sky is in the fields here too. Isn't that nice? Just get myself down into the corner here. Okay, let me see. Where are we? I think I'm going to cut this off. I don't think I'm going to bring it up as high as that. And then what I have put down here. Now, yeah, I think I'm just going to cut it here, I think. Now, get back to putting this in then, into the later areas here. Alright. Oh, I think we're motoring here rightly. Look at that, getting ourselves a really high-keyed piece of work here. I don't want that grass reaching too high into that sky. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slightly edge this. Thing I'm not. No, just getting rid of that. Let me just fill this in before I go any further. Look at that. Now it's easy to create grasses, folks, with a fawn brush. Very, very easy. So it is, so it is, so it is. Right, so let's create the edges here. Now all I'm going to do is create just a slightly darker bit of paint and just come into here. Now I want a bit more medium, a bit more mineral spirits on it just to help it move a little touch. I think I'm going to bring this over a little bit too. Close that gap up. And I'll do it on this side as well. I'll just bring it in a touch into here, ish. That should help close that up a little bit. But no, sorry I done that. I'll do it from this side. So I'll do it from this side, and I will take that off on this side. And just have the water having a bit of a curl to it, and then I'll put a little bit of a in it here to give it that S shape, which is very pleasing to the eye. Alright, alright, alright. Now, all I'm going to do is go over this just to fill in the and all those little patches. There we go. And whenever it dries, it'll dry a little bit later, just a little bit. And it'll look patchy, which is exactly what I am after. Right, so I want to get the water in. Right, so a little bit of blue here. It's not cerulean blue. What blue am I using? It is cerulean blue. I don't know where my head is at this day, so I don't. Cerulean blue. Now a little bit of red, and we're down in the water here. A little tiny bit warmer. And because I'm using white, I like to use a little bit of liquid. Just a bit, you know, not much. It helps it dry that little bit quicker for me. So I'm ready with it tomorrow, type of thing. There we go. Right, now I want a bit of a stiffer brush so I can work this in. Just a bit of, what is this now? This is a number 5 Rosemary & Co. Shiraz Long Flat. That's what this is. maybe a bit more of the sky in it than what I have there. So a little bit of yellow here, just to, yeah, that's yeah, a bit better. Yes, wasn't enough of the sky in it for me. Okay, now let's see. Okay. And I think, as far as the underpainting is concerned, I'm nearly done here for the time being, and let this dry and then come along and have another go at it. But what I think I will do before I go any further is just darken a few areas. And I'm using just raw umber here. A little bit of cerulean blue. And then just place this in like so. Certain areas. Especially along the embankment here. Just along here. Creating that contrast. As I say, this is a very, very warm painting, so I'm not gonna, there will be some colours put into it a little bit later. I am using some of the cerulean. For that purpose. Let me see a little bit. Nearly lost my blob of paint. Now this is allowing me to create a lot of little dips and trivets and all of that. Now I want a nice darker base down here. Same over on this side. My only concern here is I'm not too sure if I'm happy with the shape of the water, but I'm going to leave it until, I'll tell you, I'll just still put the reflections in here. So a little bit here, just bump, 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 as a reflection, and a little bit out here, not much. Just softening the edges there for that reflection. And the same up here. Let me just. Okay. Don't like that too much. All right. Now I'm wondering how far I should go at the time being. So it's obviously, it's not going to be an alla prima one today if I'm going to stop. There we go. And just while I have the color here, just going to put a little bit of the cerulean blue over in the corner here. I could just, you know, a little bit of coolness goes a long way. And most of that will get covered up in the underpainting anyway, but some of it will show through, and you'll have the contrast of cold and dark, or cold and warm, dark and light, texture and smooth, all of that. The contrast to build interest. Now what I am going to do, I'm going to put a little man here at some point. Okay. And yeah, and that's what I'm going to do. Just saying. A little man, or maybe a tree. Don't know. The little man interests me more, as in looking out into the distance there. Right. So, folks, I think that will do for the underpainting. And then I will come back and see you very shortly. So, bye for now. Okay, folks, now back to this one. Now, this is, I'm going for a really painterly rough look on these and these current ones. So, now for my convenience and your convenience, I have drawn a little guy here in a bit of chalk up here. Now, what I normally do is I will go in and sit down and draw one or two things on bits of paper. And I'll normally draw them to scale. Actually, I always draw them to scale. And then, whenever I'm happy with it, I'll come in here and I'll trace it onto here. And the reason being is that it's quite an experimental way. Hold on a second. An experimental way I do it. I'll draw a dog, I'll draw a thing, and I don't want to be drawing these things all over this. So I do it on paper, then I bring it in here and I trace it on. So, that's how this process is done, for the most part. Not always, but for the most part. Right, so I've decided on this geezer, and now I'm going to paint him in, and then I should finish the painting today. I should, but whether I do or not is another thing. Okay, so let us begin. Little tiny bit of spurts, just to make it move a touch. Now, oh, have I got the right glasses? I do have the right glasses on. Okay, so bombity-boo. I don't want to be. Oh, I want this to have a painterly look, so I'm not going to be overly cautious with my brush strokes. I can always paint around them whenever the chance comes. Is that dark enough for me? I'm not sure if it is, but it's okay for now. Just getting the darker areas of him in while it's on my brush is one of the main reasons. Boom, 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 boom. Now, I've got a lot of texture on the canvas, and I intend to keep that texture. So I'm just dragging, there's not too much paint on the brush, so I'm just dragging the brush down over it, and you'll get a lot of broken paint strokes. Bum ba da bum ba da da bum. Looks like he's got some flowers on him, this guy. Is this the 1970s? Actually, I'll make it a little bit earlier than that, I think. So let me just get a bit of a glaze going here, and just as a way of shadow. All right, now. Okay, we are motoring now. We are going here. what color of shirt? I think I'm going to put a little bit of yellow in it, maybe, and with the black it should help it become a bit reddy, like a grey-green color. That's what I'm going to go for here. A little bit brighter than the trousers. Now you know what that is. Oh, that is unfortunate. It looks it looks like this background here, so I'll darken it a little bit for now, and I'll probably lighten the background around it. I'll put a little bit of cerulean in it. At least here we will have the body shot done. A little bit darker on this side. Get a little bit more fluidic. Okay. Whenever you're doing this, try and make sure that your tones are on point. Now you do get, if you're working in oils, you get as many, well, if you're working in any paint, you get as many chances as you need. So keep that in mind, that you always get a lot of chances. But you don't want to keep going back. It can be disheartening to keep going back to work. So try and make sure that your tones are on point. Is all I'm trying to say. Now the torso is it's a bit long, so I'm going to just one of those old timers, you know, that has the trousers all the way up. Yeah, it's alright now, it's a bit better. Now, I need a smaller brush, as in not A-I-R, smaller, as in smaller. Let me see, here we go. All right, now I have him looking in the wrong direction. Let's see if I can fix this up. Nice straight top, one of those, I think they're called Dixon hats, aren't they? Big Dixon. And look at that, I've gone and completely messed it up. Right. I want to bring the brim out a little bit further, anywho, so there is that. And I will bring that hat in a little bit, so Alright, now for the sticks, I might as well just use a nice straight edge. These are his working sticks. Okay. Now, let me see. Yeah, I just need to fix that stanson. Just need to fix that hat. Bum ba da bum 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 ba da boo da boo da boo boo la da dee. Look at that. Now, I don't want to make the same mistake. So this time I'm going to be a little bit more cautious. Now where's my little maul stick here? Something to rest my hand on. There we go. Now it's coming along, so it is. It is coming along. And I just want to nick it a little bit here. And just in there. There we go. Is it a bit too tall? I could be just being too panicky. So I could, which I think is what is happening. But anywho's, I'll leave that for now and see if see what it's like when it dries up, and see if I want to mess around with it a bit more. But for now, it's fine. Right, so let's get in. using quite a lot of small brushes here, and let me see. Just pick a few out here, might as well. And these are cheap Da Vinci rounds. They're pretty cheap for what I'm doing. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use it to brighten up his shirt. I'll create a little bit of a shadow from his hat. Now I think no, that's okay. Bit brighter, just a bit. I think I'm going to go back to this hat. I just think the brim is a bit too... Now what has happened here is I have made the mistake of dipping it into the wrong pile. Okay, so now just trimming the brim here is all I'm doing. Just trimming this brim a little bit. It's a bit thick. Yeah, that's a bit better, I think. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lighten up the surrounding area. Let me see. A little bit more yellow, a little tiny bit brighter just. Now I've got some titanium white in this, so I'm going to add a little bit of liquid just to help it dry. Now I don't want too much on the brush. Let me see, how do I feel about this? I think I'm okay with this. Okay, now, this is better now. Not so much on the brush, just taking a good bit off the brush, and then I'm going to glaze and scumble this on, right across the top here. And then keeping my old trusty kitchen towels beside me, I'll be able to do a lot right across here and still create a lot of texture. Right, let me see. Okay, a little bit further up at the top here. Now he's standing out a little bit better. I do want to refine it a little bit more with another brush. So let's do this. Just in and around his edges here. keep his edges sharp in certain areas and soft in others. Okay, now nice sharp edge for him. Okay, just get the relevant colors, or the relevant tones, sorry, on my brush here. Nice sharp edge coming down here. Boom, boom, boom. All right, now I want to see where I'm at here now. I was disturbed there for a second. I was called away to do something and I'm a bit lost now. Where was I? I think it was on the arms here. Yes. Right, so let's get back to that. Okay. Now, I'll start putting in some proper shading here. Just going to scumble it on. It probably needs to be a bit more loose than that. Excuse me. There are the days. There are the days. Okay. Now. Not so bright now on the legs, but bright enough, you know, you want to see some highlight there. Oh, just too much. A little bit looser. Yeah, if you keep dipping into minerals where you can, you overuse it. Make no mistake that you can properly overuse it, but with a little bit of practice, eventually you will get you get used to the idea of how much there's a lot of texture there. Right, okay, and you'll get used to how much you need and how much you don't. Take a small bit of practice, not very much at all. Now, I want to create a little bit of space between his legs here. Just that light shining through. So let me see now here. Oh, I just want to see how high I need to go up. I want to try and create a nice, although there's a lot of texture on the canvas, I want to try and create a nice sharp moment here. There we go. I do think the trousers are a bit flurry, so I'm going to take the bottoms of them in a little bit. Let me see. Yep. Now all I need to do is do the same on this one. Let me see. A bit better. All right. Now, I'm going to actually I'm going to put the shadow as a little bit more of an angle there. Nice soft edges on this shadow as well. I don't want a sharp shadow. I just want the idea that his shadow was there. So I'm going to just gently wipe this off and just leave the traces of it behind. All right, that's a bit better. Now I'll continue to work on him. I don't think he's sharp enough, but the texture on here is throwing me a wee bit. I still don't think he's as sharp as I would like him to be. Anywho, I don't want to spend too much time working on it. So, glaziness along here, some glaziness, and maybe a bit thinner glaze than that. Okay, look at that. The way that affects that, eh? Still leaves a little bit of the background behind. He's getting lost. His shadow is getting lost again. That's all right. Okay, now. All right, look at that. It's coming around. And the same again, now on the other side. Put a little bit of cerulean in it as well, just so that the sky is affecting it, so it looks like the sky is affecting it. Alright, now what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I think I'm going to work a little bit more on this. You see, a bit brighter, and then a good scumbly glaze. And that's doing the trick. I want some very obvious warmer patches, so I'm going to be doing that. I'm just trying to marry these two together now. That's what I'm doing. You can see the definite shift there in tones. So I'm just going to marry them together a little bit to bring that, and just stagger the edges so it's not such a definitive line. There we go. Now, same again on his shadow, but I'm going to use, I want to use this brush that I was just using to darken his shadow a little bit. I'm just going to just do what I was doing there, just directionally this time, like so. There we go, that's better. There we go, and that is better. Now, him, he's not standing out as much as I'd like him to. I think I'm going to make him quite dark. So he doesn't quite stand out quite the way I was hoping for him to. So I'm going to go really dark on him, and then I'll lighten him to suit. Okay, a bit better, certainly a bit better. I'm going to just widen his hips a little bit. You got those child-bearing hips. And the same with his body. I just want to darken everything down a bit. For now. Just yeah, I think he is popping an awful lot more now, so yes, that's a bit better. Right, okay, so I'm going to put in his little staff. Nice and dark too. I was watching a video on YouTube about the mistakes that the great masters have made, and one of them was, I can't remember who the master was, and one of them was he had done a painting with a staff and an old man, and he had forgotten to put the shadow of his stick in. So there's my shadow. Can't say I forgot. Right, now I'm going to work on, I'm just going to leave that for the time being. So this won't be finished today. I'm going to work on a bit of the sky here. Now, what I want to do is just pure white. Just get the center of this here and here. Just pump, pump, pump. There's our main light source. Right. Let's just knock it back a little bit. There we go. Lovely. Lovely. Let me see. How do I feel about... you know what? It's not so bad. I am trying to control myself as far as... as far as going over the top is concerned. Let me see. Too dark? Far too dark. Just trying to not be refined. I think that's a bit too dark. Right, so where's my there we go. That's more like it. I just want some more shape to this cloud here. Maybe a few more overall. Trying to keep it abstract, folks. Just abstract shapes here and there. Always remember that you can always wipe it back. You can always pull yourself out of it. Just keep, that's an important thing for you to remember, folks. You can always just pull yourself from it. So you can. Okay, I'm not happy with the fraying of the edges here, of these grasses. I'm going to just straighten this up a bit. All right, okay. Yeah, it's a bit better. It's, I think I want a sharper edge along there. Yep. And lovely textures on that canvas really make him pop. Right, okay, I think I'll leave it for the time being. I'll come back and have a wee look at it in a wee while. I have to go on and do an errand. I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Alright folks, back to this one. Now, I'm not too far done with it. There's still a few things to do. A few things to go. Some highlights, but I'm not happy too much with the sky. So, what I'm going to do is slightly lighten it, just a touch is all. I think I'm finding it hard to marry these here together, and I think it doesn't have the contrast that I'm after. So I'm going to create the contrast. Okay, a little bit of cadmium yellow and some white. Now, I don't want too much on the brush. Tiniest bit of oxide red. Just to orange it up a little bit. Let me see now. I think maybe even a bit brighter than that still. Kind of a scumbly glaze. Yeah, okay. A bit better. Create a nice sharp line across here. I don't really want that. Now, let me just see. Let me just see what I think of that. So far, okay. I wouldn't go as far as it says so far great, but so far okay. And let me see here. All right, now you stay away from that white, this lighted area here, and just gently cover this up. I'm going to also be wiping some of this off as I go, on and off and off and on. As I say, a bit of a glazy, scumbly look about this. So I want to thin it out a bit. I want the viscosity to be around ink-ish viscosity. Okay. Now this is where I'm going to come in and take it off. Okay. All right. Now I'm getting there. Yeah, so I is. Now I'm going to use a cloth that didn't take off quite as much as I was hoping for. There we go. Now I see him up in here. All I want to do is I want to leave a little residual hint of this behind. Just a little touch. And it's lightening the sky just that little bit for me. Can't wait too long because I'm using mineral spirits here, and it is what is that? How did that happen? Big black dot. Where did that come from? Oh, there we go. All right, now let me see. Let me see where we are. Okay. Now. All right, now. Too dark? Yeah, not far from it though. Okay, now I think that has worked in my favor. What I'm going to do is just take a little bit of it off. Now cloths like this, these microfiber cloths, they're very good for removing quite a lot of the paint and leaving a tiniest trace back. Okay, now right, I will fix him up very shortly, and I think the next thing I'm going to work on is just glazing this foreground. Nice dark patches, warm dark patches in the sense of a glaze. So oxide red, raw umber, a little bit of ultramarine blue, and then take a good bit off the brush, take a really good bit off the brush and add some liquid, a little bit more blue, and then take another good bit off the brush and just glaze it on here in wee darker areas, and that should allow you to see the background that you've put down there, what's already existent. Now, is that dark enough for me? I'm unsure. A little bit of black. Again, taking a good bit off the brush. I don't want to go too much, so what I'll do is I will slightly cover it all and then wipe it off with the cloth wherever I see fit. And I think about here-ish, just wiping that out. Look at that. Yes, that works now. I think that works nice. Okay. All right, now. Pumpity boo boo. You don't want too much on the brush. What you're doing here is tinting it. And you really don't want much on the brush. Just for a tinting purposes. And that's giving the hint that it's going a little bit further on up there. Alright, so let me see. Yep, fair enough. Okay, now what to do with the water, folks? What to do with the water? Right. Let me see. I'll tinted a little bit too. A bit too strong. I've weakened it a little bit there with some liquid. And now, let's remove some of this. I'll use a kitchen towel to begin with. I don't want to remove all of what I've done there. Now look at that, look at the glow that this is going to create. I want to just remove the centerpiece here. And I will create that glow myself. Look at, yes, that's doing it. Now what I'll do, let me see, is that much brighter? Yes it is. That's nice. Just drag that across there, get that rough look in the water. Okay, now I don't wish it to be not apparent. So I'm just going to knock it back a bit with a dry brush. This is just a dry brush, folks. Just knocking that back a touch. Alright, okay. Maybe a bit more yellow. I'll do that, so I will. Yes. Yes, a bit better. It was a bit bright for me. They say lovely jubbly, lovely jubbly. All right, okay. Now what's next? He will be the last thing that I work on. So I'm going to just now rough this up in the sense of putting in grasses and things here and there, as they say, here and there. Now I need. So I'm going to go on a hunt here for a little rough brush. Maybe this will do. Look at the state of this. Look at the state of that's a fan brush that has been thoroughly used and beaten up. Okay. Now, the idea of this is to create scraggledy bits of grasses, and let's see how well this one works. Oh, look at that. That's doing the job so far. I'll change my mind in a moment or two, so I will, and I won't like it, and then I'll curse it and move on, and that's just the nature of it. Okay, so let me see over here. Yes, in a moment or two I'll be like, this is the worst thing, whose idea was this? Anyway. Right, okay, look at that, that's coming on rightly, so it is. Let's get some very obvious ones right across here to get that silhouette going. All right. Now, same again. Same brush, only I'm going to put on a lighter. I'm going to wash it off a little bit. I probably need to wash it off a bit more than that. Right. Now, let's get on a bit of a lighter. Using the sky here. And just a touch. Okay, so I want to see how this works. So I'm just going to be cautious here. Always taking a wee step back, just to figure out what you're doing. Let me see this now. Softening it a little bit, softening those edges a bit. Okay. And then some obvious, very in your face grasses. All I'm using here is a liner brush. And it's a size 10 Rosemary & Co. Series 221. Just little flicks to sell the idea that there are grasses in this area. Not too big either, just little pieces. All right, okay. Again, slightly softening it. Softening it. Alright, so now I want to have a wee look at this geezer here. How's he doing? I think he needs a tiniest bit of work. Let me see. Alright. This is here. This is where tones can matter quite a bit here. Now you can barely see them. So I have to decide whether to make it bright enough to let you see. In which case it would throw off the tones a bit. Which is what I'm doing. I'm just going to let you kind of see that. And I'm sorry if you can't. Anywho's. Should I darken his shadow a little bit? I don't think so. We'll see. Right, what I want to do is a little bit more highlight down the side of him here as the sun is hitting him. I think his trousers are a bit high. All right. Well. And you know, I think I am all but done with this one. Near enough. I'll probably set it to the side for a few days and then have a wee look at it. Alright, now I want to slightly brighten the side of that. Okay, now yeah, a bit brighter than that. I think I will darken the shade that he's producing there just a little bit behind him. And it'll be in the form of a glaze, folks. Just a little bit. Now it might look to you like a lot, but I will be taking some of it off with a cloth here. Okay. Now, of course, he has a bit of a highlight between his legs. So, just about here-ish. There we go. Right, folks. I think that. Let me just have another wee look at the water. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. No, I'm forgetting a few things. I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, where is my little palette knife? There we go. Okay. I want this to look as if this is reflection here, and this is the water coming into here. That gives you the impression that the whole thing is curling around him, kind of encompassing him a little bit. And I think what I want to do also is round this off. What I see here is a bit too sharp here. Just rounding the edges off a touch. Yes, that's a bit better. I'll put a little bit of highlight in there too. Just here and there and there and here. Just to indicate that there are things going on up here too, you know. And I don't want to be drawing your eye to it. Now, is the water bright enough? I believe it might be. I mean, just there's a wee flick here and there, just not much. A wee bit of a reflection, just boom, right across, a straight line across, a grass thing up, and then the reflection of it there. I'll do another one here in the other direction. Just here. And then, like so. There we go. That knocks it back a little bit. Right, okay, folks. I think that'll do. At least for now. I think I'm happy with it. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice piece. And just standing looking off into the sunset. Or the sunrise. They're very similar. Right, okay, well, I'll see you in the next one, folks. Well, if you could, please like and subscribe and all of that. And I will put some other videos up along here somewhere if you would like to watch. Well, I'll see you soon, folks. All the best and bye for now.